If you're a business owner and you've ever wondered, well, how am I supposed to pay myself? Then this video is for you. So if you're making money as a business owner, whether you're a sole proprietor, LLC, S-Corp, C-Corp, there's different ways and types and the proper ways you should pay yourself. So if you're watching this video, most likely you're either a sole proprietor, an LLC, or maybe you're an S-Corp owner. And so those are the three ones I want to talk about on how you should or shouldn't pay yourself. So if you're a sole proprietor, whether you're a photographer or a designer or doing some business or service and you're getting paid, even if you're selling products like e-commerce and you have no entity, you're just a sole proprietor, and I open up my personal bank account to then use as just business income and business expenses, or maybe you have a personal credit card to use, then you're like, well, how do I get this money out of this bank account into my personal bank account so I can pay for personal expenses, rent, food, whatever, without mixing? Great question. So if you're just a sole proprietor, the short answer is you just need to transfer money over from that account to your personal account. You know, you don't have to necessarily have like, okay, on every Tuesday of the month, first Tuesday of the month, I'm transferring over, you know, the amount I need. Now, from a habit and business operations perspective, that would be great. But from a technical rule perspective, there's no rule. But what is important is that you do not spend personal expenses from the business or account of your sole proprietor. So there's traditionally two ways to pay yourself. Yeah, so as a sole proprietor, because all the money is technically yours, from a operating standpoint, you want to transfer money out from the business account to the personal. We would say as a sole proprietor, you just transfer it once or twice a month as needed, but really just limit it twice a month, just like from an operations perspective, just from a budgeting perspective. So you mentally know from the personal account, okay, I know that this is different. Sometimes we even recommend opening up the bank account that is going to be used for business at a different bank so that mentally it helps you. Because we see with a lot of clients, let's say they're a Chase Bank customer, they open up they have a personal account there and then they're a sole proprietor. So maybe if they get an EIN for their sole proprietorship, they open up a technical sole proprietor bank account, or they just open up a personal bank account and they log in and they just see both their bank accounts right there, bam, bam. And they're like, oh, this is easy. I'm just going to, oh, I need money. This one has more. I'm just going to accidentally. And so, but when it's at two separate banks, they're like, okay, mentally, this is different colors, different name. I have to log in, different logins. Like, okay, I know this is my business. So that's what we recommend is really different banks. And for a business bank account, we recommend Relay or Chase's, go to the big banks. Sole proprietor, how you pay yourself. You wouldn't really run payroll like W-2 on yourself. That would be a lot. That really wouldn't really make sense. You could, but it really wouldn't make sense. You're just paying unnecessary tax, unless from like a budgeting standpoint you really wanted that automatic thing. You can set up automatic transfers. The second way is the second entity you might want to know how to pay yourself as an LLC owner. So if you're a single member LLC, it's really just the same as a sole proprietor, but now you should have an LLC bank account where you've got the LLC name, bank account. Again, we recommend you set up the LLC bank account at a different bank than what your personal bank account is at so that you can keep it separate. So you've got the LLC bank account. And again, we recommend maybe the first week and the last week of the month, you set up 2 transfers a month. So you know, okay, this also help teach you how much money do I spend personally to live. So you're like, okay, I know I need $5,000 a month, or I know I need $3,000 a month, or I know I need, you know, I got expensive taste. You know, I need $15,000 a month or $20,000 a month. Then you would say, hey, but if you're making that money, you would be an S-Corp, or you would have a bigger entity. But anyway, you would say, hey, okay, at the first of every month or first week of every month, I know I'm going to transfer $2,000 over to this account. So I know, okay, for 2 weeks out of the month or 3 weeks out of the month, I'm living off $2,000. And then at the end of the month, you transfer over $3,000 or $2,000 again. So you know, okay, I know it's coming each time. And you could set that auto transfer so you're done. And that would be considered a distribution. So you're just taking a distribution. You're taking money out, distributing it to yourself as the owner, distribution. If you ever be like, oh, the bank account, the business needs money, then you would transfer from the personal account to the business account. And that would be considered a contribution. So distribution out, contribution in. So as an LLC, again, we wouldn't really recommend the payroll situation because then you're paying payroll taxes and it's just set cost to maintain that and file the report. It's a lot more admin and cost than necessary. So to pay yourself as an LLC person, LLC owner, single member LLC, twice a month or once or twice a month. If you can do once, that's great. Transfer, just a distribution. That's what it's called. If you have two members, multi-member LLC, and you got partnerships, this can get tricky, but we're going to keep it simple. Let's say you both work in the business and you both need money to live, which is great. It's called like a guaranteed payment. You're like, okay, I know, for working in the business, I'm going to accept myself a 50 grand salary and my other partner gets 50 grand. So each month I know I'm getting my salary at the first of each month salary. You could just call it a guaranteed payment. So, or you can take a distribution, but if you want the expense on the 1065 to show, it would be a guaranteed payment. And you would just establish this before it would be in your operating agreement that we talked about. And you would just transfer from the business bank account, the multi-member LLC, to each different member's personal bank account. And would be considered a guaranteed payment. It would show up on the K1 as a guaranteed payment. And then if you needed excess than what you said is your amount you're getting paid, then you would both take a distribution. That's how you pay yourself an LLC. As an S-Corp owner, how do you pay yourself? How do I get money out of my business account the proper way to my personal? Like we said in another video, the S-Corp, you have to take reasonable compensation. So you do in this one, you have to set a salary. You have to run payroll. We recommend Gusto. It's super simple and easy. So you set your reasonable salary amount once you've determined that. Let's say my reasonable salary is 40 grand. So I know each month I'm getting around, after taxes are withheld, probably around $2,500 a month. So you can either do bi-weekly or just all at once if you can handle it. Then that salary is coming out. So I'm getting my paycheck first day of the month. It's coming out. You leave enough money in the business account so it can pay yourself and to your personal account. You've got that. Now, what if you're like, oh, I've set my reasonable salary low because I don't want to pay the self-employment taxes and I need more money? Well, you got a few options. You could then just take a distribution and then you transfer out the amount you need each month. And you want to make sure in your operating agreement that it says you can take distributions monthly or as needed, or you can take it quarterly or annually. Whatever you want to set the cadence or the rhythm or the timing of the distributions, that's fine. But what's important is how you pay yourself as an S-Corp is you take a salary, and then if you need more money to live, which you probably will, because hopefully you're not taking a high salary, because then you're just paying more self-employment tax, then you take a distribution. But if you want to go to the next step, you want to go to the next level, then we would say make sure you have an accountable plan set up, a reimbursement policy, so you get a reimbursement for your home office, your miles you're driving, and your repairs and maintenance, your telephone use, that's business use. You're getting a reimbursement as well each month for that, deduction of the business into your bank account, not taxable to you because it's a reimbursement. And that's another way to get some few $100 out each month. So the main ways in the S-Corp is, one, you got the salary. Two, anything after that, you can take a distribution if you need more. Try to limit the distributions just once a month or once a quarter, whatever the cadence. But what you don't want to do is be using it as a personal ATM. You're like, oh, this week I need a little extra cash, let me just transfer it. Or like every day you're making distribution. Because then you're going to set up to piercing the corporate veil or susceptible if someone looked at it or something. So yeah, those are the ways you pay yourself in the main businesses. As a C Corp, you had a C Corp. Again, you could set a salary or you could take a dividend. But if you take the dividend, you're getting taxed at the personal level. So yeah, that's another separate thing. But yeah, hopefully that video made sense, or now you know, okay, this is how I pay myself as a business owner, whether I'm a sole proprietor, LLC, or S-Corp. Now I can feel confident about how the process works and how I should pay myself. And if you have any questions or want to know more, please reach out to us or let us know in the comments and we will answer them. But yeah, we will see you in the next video.